Hey Ratbags, it's Jade. I told you guys about Nightingale getting a big interview with IGN at FanFest, and oh my gosh, so much new content to go over. So many reveals about creatures and possibilities of this amazing survival game. And I'm calling it amazing because I'm getting very excited about this now. If this hasn't been on your radar, get it on your radar now. This is going to be the biggest survival game of the year. So of course I will leave a direct link for the full interview. You can go check out for yourself on IGN's website. We're going to go over the gameplay reveals here and the new stuff that was shown and the answers given by the two developers, Neil Thompson and Aaron Flynn, talking about this game. So devs give a little synopsis of what the game is, and it is in a parallel universe, as you might would expect, and it's infinite possibilities with the portals leading to different realms, and that's what we'll be exploring. Different realms will give options and choices to explore different biomes, different environments, some much more difficult than others. The devs did talk a lot about the game and inspirations, which they've done in quite a few interviews now, so don't want to go over too much old stuff. But effectively, we are realm walkers trapped in a certain realm, and we've got to try and get back to our home city of Nightingale, which is like the hub or an area that kind of maybe harnesses magic. And it's seemingly been left over by the Fae. Now the Fae aren't some magical beings that we're going to be friendly with. They've actually created a mock race of creatures in mimicry of humans because they don't particularly like us either. They call them the Bound, and this is what might be attacking your bases at certain points, or you might come across quite a lot. And the developers revealed a whole bunch of information about some of these Bound.
I like the Bound a lot. I think they're a wonderful faction.
So these Bound have been made in vats in mass-produced ways and then unleashed upon realm walkers to basically kill them and destroy them. Some of their designs absolutely speak to me of creatures as you've seen in games like Silent Hill, and a lot of it is based, again, repeating a lot of other information before from 18th century, 19th century literature and fantasy.
In the reveal trailer, we saw some minions who are just kind of popcorn quadruped enemies that will just throw themselves at you. But there's also ones with more magical abilities, more ranged abilities.
So not just simply mindless grunts, there may be a bit more fluidity in how you combat against some of these guys. With this one being called a bruiser with a wheel on his head, just simply because it was cool. Neil then goes on to talk about these creatures, the Harpies. They'll actually come over to your settlements, to your bases, and basically be on the prowl to steal from you. The idea is that to do that, they have made their heads some sort of human face or shape to allow them to try and possibly sneak in and dark in silhouettes. It's only a tiny crypt, but this is brand new gameplay of the creatures actually walking through. Absolutely scary, menacing stuff. They look absolutely huge. You'd have to be definitely a bit drunk and very late at night to convince me that this would be human. But maybe just that little head popping up over a storage box could make you think twice about actually shooting it, thinking it could be a teammate. Absolutely scary, scary stuff. These guys just creeping around, crawling, walking along slowly. Now, obviously, big part of the marketing has been the giant. I've used it in a lot of my thumbnails because it's absolutely looking fantastic. The idea of fighting a giant creature like this, but not always fighting. As we saw from the reveal trailer, you can choose to either take this giant on, and this is all new gameplay we're seeing right now, or you can actually try and be friendly to him and leave him an offering, and maybe he'll take that and leave you alone. The Inflection devs have been teasing a brand new creature reveal, and we saw it during this interview, the Bandersnatch. This is basically influenced by C.S. Lewis, the author of Alice in Wonderland, and it's kind of crossed between a bat and a raptor, and very vicious apparently, according to Neil. Something you don't want to see at night time especially. Next, we found out some information about how the portals will work, and basically you're going to need to go and get certain resources to craft a special gear, and this gear will allow you to teleport from one realm to another. But you'll also think about what kind of materials you'll need, resources you'll need to bring with you to basically have gear ready. Also party members. There may seemingly be hinting at classes here, or certainly making sure that your party friends have got certain things on them that are more suitable for each realm. Of course, Nightingale is a co-op game, it's not an MMO, but we still don't know exactly what the max or min limits are on players. We do know though that the idea is you can come across other realm walkers on different realms, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to find more details on that. Neil actually uses the idea of anything you can imagine, that's what to expect in terms of different realms, including the biomes and environments that you're going to encounter. Now the words Nightingale, as the game's name, is obviously the home hub city that you were trying to work our way back towards, and it was kind of just thought up early in the game's life of the city name and then turned into the game's name. But these environments are absolutely stunning, and for you can build some of these buildings and it's not just simply man-made, even better. The devs are asked a lot about influences for the game as well, and so they give some great answers. Kind of revealed a bit as well in the past, so definitely go and check out the full vlog. Last question is basically, when are we going to get to see more of this? And they didn't mention any early access dates. What they did mention was that the closed alphas are about to take part, depending on your PC specs, obviously that you've signed up for the website, and maybe your experience levels with maybe survival or these types of games. And then before I go, just circling back to the very first few scenes of this interview, these are, I guess, the mood boards and stuff that's going on with concept art. And there's a whole big range of guns, different character classes, different designs for the bound. You can see there, clearly some of them look like they've evolved into maybe the big wheel. And then these other factions, humans that are much taller than others, guys with great big scimitars and swords, as well as maybe shotgun or shorter pistols, and more excitingly, ranged weapon turrets. So you will be defending your towns, your settlements, your bases. You can see on the dev's screen here, we go past a ranged weapon, a turret. So yeah, you're going to be doing that a lot, and that's just exactly what I want to hear. If a game is going to be PvE, a survival game, it has to have some sort of danger component where we have to worry about our bases. I feel like the best games certainly have that component, and it livens things up, makes it not everything so dull. My channel's been floating around the last couple of years. I've covered every survival game going. I've got some big views on not just survival but RPG games too. But I want to get back to having just the main game that I cover, something I can get super excited about. VALHEIM was great and I love it, and I'll always cover that game. And other games in the past I've enjoyed, but I've kind of grown from them, or just not really felt like I wanted to make as much content as I used to. But this game is ticking up so much of the things that I'm looking for. Hopefully one day we might see an announcement about it coming to console, but for sure right now I would probably devote a significant chunk of my time to this if it came out tomorrow, next week, next month. So yeah, look out for me covering Nightingale in a big way. I can see this being a huge game this year. I've been working on it in secret almost for 3.5 years, and yeah, pray that it does actually have a release date this year and the testing goes well. I guess it's that mix of sort of steampunk, lamp punk, and obviously 18th century sort of literature, which I've always been interested in. I used to love stories like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, The Invisible Man, and tales, real life tales of like Jack the Ripper and stuff like that. So any kind of setting or game like that, I used to love the Order 1886, even though it had its problems and issues. I've always loved fantasy, and yeah, give me any side of a game that's got base building in it, that's got protecting that base against enemies, different realms and lands that have unique biomes, but maybe some nuance to it, not always just killing and shooting something, and I'm totally going to be there for it. Any brand new info about Nightingale, small or big, I'll be there first as always. Hope you enjoyed that. Go and check out the full interview, and I'll see you ratbags later.